family gave it and presented as a gift to the Northampton Museum. Northampton Museum is not a gigantic, famous for big stuff museum. It's not the British Museum, because some of our newspapers wrote the British Museum, and big newspapers, unfortunately.
Came in the news the same,
yes,
which
is wrong. So the Northampton Museum is not even in London. The Northampton Museum started to think that crazy idea. No, I have to call it like this. It's an insane idea, because museums were built as a concept by human beings to protect the statues, not to sell it. Oh, I remember one of the famous Egyptologists once said an amazing sentence. Now we can understand it. Museums are dangerous places. He was right, this guy. He was right. So, decided to sell. Estimate price on Christie's to start with 4 to 6 million sterlings. That's an estimate price, which is put by the auction, by Christie's themselves in London.
Are they liable to assess or appraise?
Of course not. Of course, this is another conspiracy fact, not conspiracy theory.
It's a
of course, and it's a lousy one as well. It's a lousy joke. Who did you bring? How many Egyptologists did you bring? Did you buy? To stand in front of this masterpiece and say, oh, that will cost about 4 million sterling. What 4 million sterling? You go and buy a villa for 4 million sterling.
For this statue? I mean, what is the real cost?
There is no cost, my dear. There is not one. Priceless. No, seriously, priceless. Priceless. To me, history is priceless. To me, you cannot, and even artifacts. So, how did it work out? It worked out 4 years, and they took it from the museum and put it inside the rooms. So it's not for show. So they didn't exhibit it in the last 4 years. Now, is that making you a little bit concerned?
Right.
Why did they put it in a room for 4 years? Because when they started talking about selling the statue, they were afraid that people will come and take the statue or steal the statue. Or they were afraid that probably we would stand up and say, how are you guys? Until Sekhemka was placed on the cover of the booklet, of the very well executed booklet by Christie's. Only then we knew that it will be sold in an auction in the day so and so. And I started my campaign before the Minister of Antiquities. 6 days before the last...
came to you and you, responded to this ugly news, but the Ministry of Antiquities...
as usual, they were having a nap.
They didn't care?
Oh, they were having a nap. Oh, they were having a nap.
Or they didn't know?
You see, that's what I told in the presidential palace. She was very concerned about how the minister and myself didn't meet, or ministers, if you like, right?
That makes sense.
So, yeah, it was a good question, and justified as well.
The Minister of
Antiquities, that's exactly the sentence she said.
First before
she said, did you apply for a beating? I said, ma'am, I am an Egyptian citizen. Now, talking about a minister, an Egyptian citizen, of course, my sentence was showing how it is very hard for an Egyptian citizen to meet a minister. She said, oh, but you are an exceptional citizen. You love your country, you love your monuments, you love your history, and I sensed that when I heard you on the radio. That's what she said. I said, well, thank you very much, ma'am, but I tell you, I extend my arm like that for the Minister of Antiquities. If I saw a finger coming out, I will catch it. Not an arm. I'm extending an arm. If they extended a finger, I will hold on it. But that was not the case. You are always a persona non grata. You are always, yes, I'm always a persona non grata. I'm always an unwanted person in this building. I'm not talking about this, the minister or the last minister. Yes, because I'm raising. The only guy who actually met me was the ex-minister, Dr. Muhammad Ibrahim, when I made the campaign to help them to build the museum in the pyramids area, the Grand Egyptian Museum. Yes, and it was the Egyptians, the campaign was called The Egyptians Build the Grand Museum with 2 Egyptian pounds. And I was asking you guys to pay 2 Egyptian pounds per person. So 180 million Egyptian pounds, and I'm going to buy stuff that you need as a museum. And I'm not going to give you money. I'm not going to give you cash. And that's what I told him in his office in Zamalek. Told him, Dr. Muhammad, I'm not going to give you or the minister money because there is no trust between people and ministers in that case. That's what I told him. I said, I'm sorry, but you know this. So you are going to tell me I need a glass case to put a statue in? Thank you. I will get you a glass case. Where did you get the glass cases from? Belgium. Okay, we'll go to get the glass cases. And we'll get the Egyptian TV cameras to take shots like the cancer hospital. Why did the people like the cancer hospital? Because every penny they put, they saw it and witnessed working in the hospital. That's what we want to do. And he agreed, and it was great and stuff, and they made a committee for me. And then, dead. Dead. D-E-A-D. Dead. What reason? I
They
would
did
never.
not continue with founding.
I will never know. I will never. I remember a TV
the
presenter
construction
gave me the 2
rights-
Egyptian pounds on air.
So the construction work stopped?
No, the construction is still going, but they are suffering from financial problems. But the campaign stopped. The minister did not continue with me. So there is something that happens, and I don't know what, that they know that I'm not after any seats or chairs or anything. I'm a guy who likes my monuments, who likes my civilization. I love it. It's my life. It's a love story of 34 years. Even before I was 6, my parents took me to Aswan when I was 6. I can tell you now what the shape of the temple. I remember when I was 6, I can tell you. I can tell you the shape of the temple. So I'm in love with this. I married this. It's my family. It's my marriage.
It's a lifetime passion.
Exactly. So I would like to say to all those officials and all those I don't know who, I am not there after your seat or after whatever. I'm after seeing, because I saw in the eyes, I'm a originally. So I see in the eyes of people. I stood in front of the Rosetta Stela in the British Museum giving a lecture to one person, asked me to come from Egypt, got me a ticket, 3 days in a good hotel in London, high payment, just to tell him something about the Rosetta Stela. I'm back to Egypt.
So it's well appreciated abroad, in other words.
So what do you think? So the question is here now, raised that in the last comment you did. I don't know intentionally or non-intentionally, but is it better for those statues to stay there? That is the question we are asked now in the 20 million signatures campaign. When the people with me in the campaign, young Egyptians, you see them and they will put your head on the 7th sky with pride. The way they work, the way they love. And we're talking 18 years of age and 19 years of age and 25 years of age. I say, if 5 of these,
Amazing
only 5,
awareness.
oh, you will be.
Unbelievable.
And they don't have to be antiquity studies or anything like that. They come from all different walks of life. And I say 5 of these, I can put their names right now. If the minister pick up the phone and get them to work for Egypt, see how those young girls and young gentlemen will work and how they will achieve. So the question when we tell them, bring us your signature, we need only your 4 names and we don't need anything else. Now, why are we gathering 20 million signatures? Because I asked presidential meeting, I asked when Bokova comes to Egypt, I would like to meet her, please. That is a request that I requested from the presidential meeting. I said, I need to meet Bokova. Bokova is the head of the UNESCO. Because when the ministers meet the big guys or the big ladies, of course there will be diplomatic ways of talking and so on. That's not me.
But
To
you
me-
wanted to be forthcoming.
Yes, and they are the people. We are the people of Egypt now.
But unfortunately, out of time, I needed to raise another important, very, very important thing that you achieved also. To my knowledge, you organized a rally or a protest or a sit-in before the British embassy here in Egypt in order to protest the selling of Sekhemka?
When the people, actually we didn't do that.
You did a lot of effort.
Yes, but this was in front of the Sphinx and on the same day of the excavation of the head of Nefertiti, asking the museum to bring us back Nefertiti's head.
And did it achieve anything?
Well, one of our people called Berlin Museum, and also he's not an official, she's not an official, nothing, she's one of the Egyptians who love the culture. And she said, by sentence, she said, bring us back Nefertiti's head. So what was the answer of the Berlin Museum? Come on, Nefertiti now is a Berlin girl.
That was an official or?
Well, that is the official of the Berlin Museum who answered the call. So of course this is not signed by the Berlin, but what am I asking for is this. Number one, whoever is coming to be the great responsibility, you have to really acknowledge the fact that if there is a minister for antiquities in this country, you are the minister, the biggest country of antiquities in the world.
That's true.
Are you acknowledging this fact? Are you reacting like this? Are you reacting up to the responsibility of such sentence?
But Mr. Shammaa, on many fronts you have accused the Ministry of Antiquities openly of being so short on what you were saying now. I mean, taking the responsibility of chasing those monuments throughout on the different occasions of theft and the smuggling and selling and everything. But did really Sekhemka gone with the wind?
Oh yes, unfortunately yes, my dear.
I'm
saying it with my heart broken and everything.
And what is the reaction
but
of the
Ministry of the fact is, yes, it's gone. I said it's gone before the minister said it's gone.
Openly on air, and there
was yes, I said very poor way of dealing with things. Of course, my dear, there is one piece of paper. If they dig for it in the documents organization, 1835, it's a decree made by Muhammad Ali out of 3 articles. Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, 1835 says not one monument leave Egypt without my permission.
Do the ministry know that?
Of course. Muhammad Ali, when I said it and when people said it and when I learned it from other people who know better than me, they started to talk about, oh, we don't have this paper. We'll go and dig for it. Ask Turkey, ask Istanbul, ask anybody who's got relation with Muhammad Ali's history.
Or historians.
Or historians, or the documentation organization here, yes.
Right.
The Egyptian National Documentation Organization. You don't have a computer thing, archive, anything. You know why? Because if this paper came out in the international court in La Haye, for example, if you like, this is going to be your legal way to the royal regaining of anything you want. Why? Because anything that came out after 1835, that means it's illegal. Because their answer is always, oh, we don't have a legal proof that these statues left. You sold it. Well, until 1983, you were selling monuments, legal, in this country. Are you amazed?
And until now, not even one step is being taken in that course?
In that document.
The legal document?
Not what I know of. But Sekhemka, as a good example for that loss and for that crisis and for that humiliation, is that it left 1849, 1850. That's good 14, 15 years after the decree. So now I have the paper that says Sekhemka left illegally.
Unfortunately, we ran